Today is Thursday, April 12, 2018. Good night to our viewers and PEP members. Welcome to Frontline. My name is Janice Leamond Creaky and I am the Public Relations Officer of the Progressive Empowerment Party. And my co-host tonight is Felicia Holder, Chairperson of the Progressive Empowerment Party. Tonight we are going to talk about issues in the Port Spain North and St. Anne's West constituency. Our guest is the dynamic Lima MacLeod Wilkinson, who is the caretaker for that constituency. So my first question, Lima, good night.
Good night.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I don't need to say my age or anything, right?
No.
I come from a background of public servants. Both my parents are public servants, retired. One is a retired nurse, one is a retired primary school teacher.
Okay.
I myself am a public servant. So I already have that background of serving the public.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 small children. I born and grew up in Belmont. So I mean, I don't know every single thing about Belmont, but the fact that I am born and have lived there and I'm going to be representing the area is something special. What else?
What about Belmont?
Soccer bells ringing.
No, the reason I asked is because I also grew up on Belmont,
Oh, okay.
Norfolk Street,
Oh, okay.
right in front of Industry Lane.
Okay.
For years.
No,
My father inherited the house, so he moved everybody in.
Okay.
You know, so
Yeah.
I'm a Belmont girl.
That's the residential area of
Yeah.
Belmont. No, I live on the hills.
Okay.
So
okay.
I live closer to the Lady Young. So anytime
Right.
anything happens on the Lady Young, we are always affected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what made you want to become a caretaker for the area?
I didn't really want it to begin with. This Philip told me that you're from Belmont, so you should just represent Belmont. So it's not something that I said, yes, that is what I wanted to do. But it has grown on me now, and I see a lot of the issues that we have are things that I have spoken about before. It's things that I have been dealing with, like all the WASA, burst pipes and all these different things. I have to be constantly calling WASA about it, and I got a few things changed and done, so I was like, alright, maybe I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
And then I work close to my constituency, and I'm always in it. So it's from Charlotte Street, and sometimes I walk to Belmont. So I'm always in the area, so why not?
Yeah, yeah. All right. Tell us a little bit about your constituency. What are the areas that make up your constituency?
Okay, well, Port Spain North, St. Anne's West is a densely populated constituency.
Mm-hmm.
So it might look small on the map, but it has a lot of people. It's a lot of hilly areas. So it's from Charlotte Street to up Observatory Street, Belgrade Street, across to Quarry, Montague Street, Lane, into Belmont, well, Gonzales, Belmont, St. Anne's, Cascade, Hololo, going as far as around the Port Savannah, Chancellor, the Zoo, Rapsy Street, all the way to Sinclair, all the way to St. James, Long Circular, I think it's up to Kandahar Street in St. James, and then from Stanmore all the way to Tragrid Road, Maraval Road,
Wow.
all the way, yeah. So it's kind of, it is big. When you actually sit down and you read all of it, it is big. It's a lot of work.
So with that, when you say Maraval, does that include up to where you have the river?
No, it
And
is
then
up to
Adams?
Rapsy Street.
Up to Rapsy Street?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, that's a lot of
Yes.
that's a huge
It is.
constituency to
Yeah.
manage. Wow.
It is.
Okay, so you want to tell us a little bit of some of the issues that the people in your constituency experience on a day-to-day basis?
We have terrible roads, terrible roads. You see, but each area is different. Belmont has poor water supply, poor roads, as well as St. Anne's, Cascade, Honolulu. I know they have their Facebook page where every day is always water, no water. It comes for 5 minutes and then it's gone. And then the calls on the MP's office are falling on deaf ears. He doesn't attend to the constituency. Gonzalez's water as well as crime.
Just let them know who's the MP for current MP for the
yeah.
area.
Mr. Stuart Young.
Who is also my MP because I fall in the St. Anne's West area as well.
Yes. So, but each area has its own different issues. So Belmont mightn't have the same issues as St. James.
Correct.
But the main problem is the fact that you are not in your constituency often enough to know the problems, or you don't live in it, so you don't drive over the bad roads every day. I have to drive over those bad roads every day. I have to complain about water problems, water pressure, the bad roads, all the burst pipes all over the place. I had to call WASA and complain to their CEO about issues that I've been having, and they sent a team 8 o'clock in the night. I had to walk out the road to meet them to show them where the leak was and for them to fix it. Why does I have to go through such lengths just to get a small leak fixed? And I told them
about
about
the
the
night as well, because when you have to pull out a team at that hour of the night, that means you're going into overtime.
Yes.
You know, so that's a cost to the taxpayer.
And they were worried about security. Do we need police? And I said, no, you don't need police. I will come up with you. It's not like you need the police. They came, they realized, okay, there really wasn't any need for the police, so they fixed the leak. But there are some other major leaks right now that I have to be calling them regularly to remind them, what about this? And they, you know what they told me? We have to get the help of the councillor. Only the councillor for the area who could initiate the process of them fixing it. What the council have to do with it?
Wait, this is WASA telling you that they need help from the local government councillor?
Yes, they need the councillor to get police to organize the day. And I'm telling them, but I could do that. I know the council, you don't need the councillor for that. And the major leaks is like about 4 or 5 leaks on a road that's a bridge. So when that bridge collapses,
the leak that is heading up as you're going up to the lady, they have been fixing that leak has been.
No, not to the lady. This is going up the first hill after St. Francois.
Yes, and right, and that's the road that you take, and if you continue, you make
that
the
road.
That road has been fixing, and I use that road sometimes to pass to get to work when I don't want to pass the Belmont traffic. I think I've seen every morning that I pass for the past 4 months. I see a team of workers there. The road is fixed for 2 days, and then
and they were fixing the canal, so they were putting the culvert on the side of the road. I understand, yes, that is needed, but the actual road itself, come on,
terrible.
They started calling it the bogus.
Because
you have to, when you see people coming down the hill, you have to stop for them to maneuver through this thing and then pass, and then you could pass. Why should I have to go through that? And then also our next problem with these areas, because they are hilly areas, a lot of people do have garage space, so they have to park on the street and then walking the track or walking the hill or whatever it is. So you will find like 6 or 7 cars parked up on a street. So that in itself is a problem. I usually worry about the fire service when they have to attend to anything, because from where I live, I hear the fire service coming from down the circular. So you will hear the sirens and like, all right, they're coming through. They're probably taking their time because it's a full truck of water. They have to come up all hills and they have to maneuver over all those potholes and the 99 cars, and that's caused a lot of traffic. And if people passing through the area that are not familiar with the area, they're not familiar with the rules where you have to wait for some people to pass and then that kind of thing. So a lot of neighbors' cars getting rubbed down.
Now, when it comes to actually fixing the road after they have repaired a leak, do they use asphalt on the road, or do they just put some gravel on it and that's it?
Well, when WASA digs up the hole, they just cover back the spot with the dirt they took out, and it's never smooth. It's always a hump. So you have a hump to go over now, and then you are at the mercy of the corporation to come and fix it. And Port of Spain North is between two corporations, and Sour Laventil and Port of Spain. So if it falls in Port of Spain area, they will come and do their little crew and they pave it up and as best as possible.
That's interesting because when I had a leak where I live on the street, and I kept saying, well, okay, you'll have to come and use asphalt to put the road back in good condition. They said to me, they kept saying to me, oh, well, we don't have any asphalt, we have to wait, and then...
Wait, sorry, they don't have any...
They can't get any asphalt, they have to wait to get asphalt. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm a little surprised when you say to me that they are saying that the corporation is the one responsible for repairing the road. But that is not what the Diego Martin substation said to me. They said, oh, well, as soon as we get the asphalt, we will come and fix the road for you. And they never did because it was one excuse after the next.
Yeah.
And then eventually, one of the neighbors was actually redoing their driveway, and out of the goodness of their heart, they fixed the road one time.
And that's actually something you see happening in Belmont when there's the flooding.
Yeah.
And the roads are, when the mud and the debris and stuff, I actually saw the residents coming out themselves and cleaning the road because you can't wait on the corporation to come.
Correct.
And that flooding has gotten worse because it is something to do with whatever work the school did in their yard. St. Francois College. Whatever work it is they did, you're seeing this brown muddy water coming out every time rain falls. So they need to investigate why that is happening because it never used to happen before.
Right. They must have had a clogged drain
Something.
or something.
I don't know what it is, but it's that. Another problem we have in some of these constituencies too is a lot of abandoned lots that overgrown with bush and then people throwing the garbage on it.
Right.
And that's another issue too. You see the garbage collection, it's not done in a timely manner. We have a lot of people who don't understand the seriousness of how you dispose of garbage. And I have to say you don't understand because not because you have a dump area, you just throw the bag. You have strays, you have rats, you have all kind of different things, and you're encouraging all these things when you just fling your bag anywhere. So it's like a re-education that you'll have to do. You have to literally explain to people you cannot put out this kind of garbage in the night because by the morning it will happen. This will happen. So you have to wait for in the morning when you hear the truck to throw out that kind of garbage. I mean, people will think, I have to tell big people that, but yes, you do.
Yeah.
Especially as we don't have that kind of education system as a social plan, in our social plan. We have to educate people on the best way to dispose of garbage. I went over by my sister who lives in Belgium, and they have garbage collection once a week. Wednesday and a Thursday. Thursday is for stuff that could decompose, and Friday is bottles and plastics, and Wednesday is for every other thing. And they don't have the problems we do, the dumping and flies and rats, they don't have that. So if their one a day thing could work one a week, and we have this every day or every 2 days, how is it our system still so backward and we have this problem? We have a rat problem, you have different types of rodents too. You have mice, you have the rats, you have roaches, you have frogs, it's all kind of thing, and it's our fault because we don't want to do better, and you have to blame local government for that because you're not doing anything to show, okay, well, we moved the bin because the bin, they're throwing too much garbage in the bin, but you didn't put back something to help the situation, or you didn't advise people, well, we move in the bin, so we will try this. There's no plan, it's just a Viking thing, and it all depends on
And that falls under the Port of Spain Corporation.
Or Sour Laventil.
Or Sour Laventil.
It depends on the area.
Yeah.
I have a question. What can you say, or what has been done in the constituency of, well, at least in your area so far since Stuart Young has been the MP for the area?
Since elections, I have seen Stuart Young twice walking about. And that wasn't even up on my side. That was just me driving through Belmont, and I saw him on Archer Street walking, hustling with the councillor walking. And I slowed down. I told him, I was like, hey, we have problems up on the hills when you're coming up there. Soon, but I'm very busy, soon. I was like, how soon is soon? Because our issues can be different to these people's issues.
Yeah.
And we have not seen him since.
But interestingly, in 2017, you know, WASA put in a station, a pipe-on water station, booster station, that's what it is. And it was commissioned and it was started. So one would expect that the water woes would have been solved. But if you're saying to me still that you're still having issues with water, then there's an article that says Young tackles WASA corruption. That's November 2017. But he said at the commissioning of the WASA $2.2 million Mackay booster station in Belmont, which is just last year. So if they put in this booster station, which is to provide water to Belmont, because that is located in Belmont, why is it then that the residents are still experiencing water woes? You have to ask yourself that question.
I think it is a combination of things. One of them being, and you see it on that same hill that Lima was just talking about, and I was referring to as well. The piping in Belmont, it is clearly in need of replacing.
Yeah.
When pipes are bursting all the time, it is a sign that it is not good.
Yes.
And especially when water doesn't come for a while, and then it comes suddenly and the pressure is very high, it bursts pipes. That road that is constantly in repair, it tells a huge story.
Yeah.
And clearly some real big and massive infrastructure work needs to be done on that. And I think this goes beyond the constituency now, and I wonder not just for Belmont and the other areas that are having problems, but for everybody else across the country. Is the government looking at a long-term plan to
I don't think
refurbish, upgrade all of these things? Because I like I said, I'm in that constituency and I experience it as well. Some days water, you just don't have water, you don't have a storage tank. Crap will smoke your pipe, like they say.
Yes.
So that money spent there, I'm not sure if it was really $2.2 million.
I think what they need to do is go in, sit down with WASA and have some kind of, I don't want to say a meeting, but like a thorough walkthrough of how WASA does things. And where their inefficiencies fall. A lot of their inefficiencies burst pipe all over the place, and the fact that you call, they take your report, and then you're still not seeing anything. So I remember I had to call, there was a leak in St. Francois, and I passed, I watched it 2 days, I say nah. I tell him, husband, I was like, I need to call. He's like, somebody must have called already, somebody must have called, you don't worry about that. But things like that just eat at me. So I will be like, no, that's water wasting, and you know, they always saying, WASAs have those annoying advertisements.
Water leak.
I know it
because I always do
and then if it's not that, is Daddy, WASA say you mustn't waste water, one bucket must be the dog, and all of those. And then you have this thing here leaking, how much days now? So I said, look, I will call. So I called, I said, listen, you'll have a leak in St. Francois Girls College. So the girl was like, well, they have to get permission from the school. I was like, listen to me, don't tell me foolishness. It is our main that is ruptured. I'll have to go to the back and dig up there. Because it was gushing. I was like, I told her that is not just drip water, it's gallons of water wasting there now. You cannot sit down on that. So sad the day after they came and they really had to come in the back door thing. And I was like, look at that. I was like, and I'm buffing mask, and I was like, you see, you would have tell me to somebody will have called. Another thing too is like we have a lot of bushfires in our area. So right now this is fire service season, and they have to be traipsing up that hill to go every minute. So every time you hear any truck, it's like, oh gosh, where this fire is. A couple of years ago, somebody's house burned down, and the problem with the fire service is they couldn't get to the source of the fire. They had to park the truck as close as possible, and then they had to venture up in people's yard and pass through yard and space to run hose to connect. And then they would have had to call probably mover to assist to come another area. So that is the problem I know they face, and we have to look at that as a problem, because when you have a densely populated area, you have to worry about things like fire service, how they will, in an emergency, how they're going to get to your area, your house. And that is what people need to study. You can't just go and build a house anywhere or how. You have to study these things. How, in case of emergency, I mean, you don't want to think about your house burning down, but it is a reality, especially when you have empty lots and bushfires and people just burning stuff all over the place. Well, how? There's things that we have to look at. So proper planning for home construction is something that they're going to have to look at.
Okay, so let's look into the future. When the Progressive Empowerment Party gets into power and you have been elected as a caretaker, what would be some of the things that you think that you will be doing to assist the citizens in your constituency? So we're talking about WASA. So tell us what you think you would be able to do. I know you're talking about meetings with WASA, but it has to be a little more than just meetings.
Yeah.
So tell us what you think that you would be able to sit down with them and talk about.
Well, it wouldn't be so much talk about now. We call them said, listen, I want this road fixed. All the leaks, so you'll have to dig up from point A to point B, and you have to fix all the leaks. And you have to do it when it has water in the pipe. I don't know how they could come and fix a leak when there's no water in the pipe. Or you'll know where the leak is.
True.
So, and they have done it several times, and I don't understand the logic behind it, but I always tell them that when you come, please come either Wednesday or Friday when water is in the pipe. So hopefully when I am MP, they will actually listen and do that. So that is one of the major things. It will be very chaotic the first couple of weeks, because it'll be a lot of things that I'll have to be doing. You'll have to engage the corporations on the local government side about garbage collection. You're going to have to be running your campaign to educate people about this proper disposal of garbage. You're going to have your public health department coming in to sort out the rodent problem. Talk to people about how to help and give out the rodent, the chemicals and stuff for the rodent to eradicate, to get down that rodent population. So while you're doing that, in other areas are going to have WASA send out teams to discuss how they don't have water, like Hololo. I think their problem is where WASA is trying to push water up these hills, and it should be the other way. Have some kind of retainment on top and down. Water comes down.
What Lima just said there is something I always wondered about. Belmont is a mixture of the flats, or the valley, and the hilly areas like where Lima lives. And clearly getting water to the higher areas is a problem. So how come nobody ever thought of actually putting a plant on the incline so that they're actually pushing water down? And I thought that was so ingenious, and I actually earmarked a spot for it once when I thought about redevelopment, if you need help from me. When I thought about redeveloping the community, because issues like that, I mean, how many years I've been living in Belmont? About 20 years in my life, and we have the same problems we have now that we had when I was 5 years old.
And the problems are still there.
Although I would admit, though, the water situation has improved from since I was going primary school, because there was a point in time we used to have to go down and get water by standpipes.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Right, so it was very bad at a point in time. Now it's better, but with consequences. So you're getting more burst pipes, leaks here and there. The color of the water too is a different story. You're getting sediments in the water as well. So you have to have your filters. So it's like you have to have a filter on your main line. Then the line that water going in your tank, out of the tank. So you have to look at all of these different things. So that's why I guess they're asking if there's this plot against WASA to have people buy water.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to buy into the controversy because you're wondering where this brown water coming from.
Mm-hmm. And you can't drink it.
Yeah, you can't drink it.
You
So
barely even want to bathe in it.
yeah,
Mhm.
and sometimes you smell the water and it's like, why the water smelling like that?
Like a rust.
A rusty smell. So
What about Maraval area? Up to the point where
Rapsy Street there. Well, I noticed a huge pothole right outside LSE Plaza that I happened to go down here. I was like, geez, and ages, I saw something break in the van. Something had to break because it was a bang! I said, oh my god. I don't even want to know about that. But that area, I think, I'm not too familiar with inside of there, but I think there is more business than residential. The residential area has their private guard, so I'm not too familiar with their issues. But
well, you don't really see much garbage
no,
in those areas.
I think a truck goes in that area anyways.
And then too, that's where a lot of the embassy heads live as well. So the government have to ensure that their area, that area is kept
That is
clean.
something again that bothers me, and it makes you realize it's not that things can't
be
be
done.
and it's like you say, it's not that it can't be done because you would never drive through Westmoreland and see a bushfire or
No,
somebody
but
lighting.
Westmoreland has terrible roads.
In which parts?
The side in the back of Westmore and on that particular side there, I drove in a couple of times and I find their roads are terrible. And then going down to Chagramas, the roads are even
Well,
better.
yeah, we know that Chagramas road is a hot mess. Anytime they pave it, somebody needs to come
So always
back.
come and do that. I don't know what is their problem with smooth roads.
I think that there needs to be some sort of coordination between WASA and the Ministry of Works, because if I know I'm going to be digging up an area and I know I'm going to be finished on a particular date, then WASA should be coming in soon after to fix
Maybe we
the
could look at fining WASA.
fining WASA. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you dig up a road, you didn't fix it better than the condition it's supposed to be in.
Well, I don't think WASA should be fixing roads on a whole.
Agreed.
WASA
Yes,
is
Mr.
a
Woods.
water and sewage management company. That is, and you see the poor job that they do because that is not their forte.
Oh, yeah.
You all are there to fix pipes, get water to people, upgrade the pipes, but not paving because they don't do a good job at it.
No.
So imagine if, like you said, there was proper coordination and WASA comes in, they do what they have to do.
And the thing is, it's not hard to do it. It is not hard to do.
at all.
It is just a case of proper planning. And putting measures in place.
And it's too much the bureaucracy. Why do you need to go through your councillor to get that done?
That is what I don't understand.
And then you have to go to the councillor. So the councillor has to organize the police, the corporation, WASA. The councillor has nothing to do with WASA, so how is he going to coordinate with WASA?
Yeah.
Right?
And a lot of the times you realize that it's a different system in
different places.
Or a different system depending on who you talk to.
Yeah.
Well, I could get this done for you, but you need to talk to that one. And when you talk to that one, oh no, it's not really me, it's that one down there. And it's just a whole lot of back and forth, and you wonder where the systems, where the proper processes in place to make sure things work. You have to wonder, why is it
not really? And then of course they're now talking about raising water rates.
Right.
Which you wouldn't mind paying the additional money, but not if you could get water, and clean water.
And on the scheduled days, because most areas is 2 days for the week, but if you're getting 1 day, I don't understand how you're supposed to do all what you have to do if water comes once a day, and then in some areas it doesn't come when you're home and it's coming at night when you're sleeping. So you have to stay up hoping and waiting. That's water here. Then we run downstairs and fill the machine to wash his school uniform, then his home clothes. And have other things to wash, curtains, whatever. How do you expect people to get things done?
Or even to cook, because you need water to cook.
So I know a lot of people who save water in barrels and drums and all these different things, but how safe could that really be with the mosquito problems that we have in? Because that's our next issue. And the thing is, Police North has so many different issues. It's not funny. You have on the lower part of Belmont, the empty lots, people dumping garbage, dumping tires. If you know how that is annoying me.
Yeah.
Dumping tires in certain areas, and then you see the sign saying no littering and you will be fined for littering or whatever. But then you don't see the litter wardens. What did this really do? Right? The police station, I walked in there a couple times and the look I got on their faces was like, oh God, please don't let us have some major issue that we actually have to do. So, I mean, I'm not bashing them. That is my station if I have to get anything done, and I know they are overworked because it's a large area they have to attend to. It is the whole of Belmont, St. Anne's Cascade, probably Gonzales, and probably certain parts of Port of Spain. Then around the Savannah, they probably have to go Chancellor and over by the zoo there, and probably certain parts of Sinclair and things. But Sinclair has a station as well, so they and all would be.
No.
Yeah.
Where is that station in Sinclair?
They
They broke down the building.
Yeah, and they moved to a house quite in the back.
Doesn't even have curiosity there?
No, that is quite at the end by Flood Street, somewhere in the back there, and then they moved from that house to, is it Serpentine or one of those streets, but higher up.
Okay.
And it's closer to Wildflower Park on one of those side streets. That's where they are now. In a nice air-conditioned building.
Right. And there's a sort of a huge drain or something to the back of the swimming pool.
I'm not too sure.
Because I know that there's a police outlet there.
No, this one is actual. I don't know if it's a house that they converted into it. But what is funny though is that the original place where they was ideal is in the public space. Everybody could see it. All of a sudden you move them to some back corner, and then you move them from that back corner to a side corner, and everybody's like, no, Sinclair doesn't have a police station. It's like, yes they do.
Well,
no they don't. And you're arguing with me, yes they do. It's on our side streets, and you actually literally have to go driving looking for it now. And why? So this is what another thing that I have issues with. Everything that is being done in this country is for a benefit to somebody and not us. So you move them from there. Why? So what you're going to put in that spot now then? Or who bought it?
I think if my memory serves me right, they were supposed to, they broke it down because of that terrible condition. And they were supposed to put back a station there.
I heard
but nothing happened.
That they're going to put a hotel there.
A hotel? Another one just across from Cape Park?
Yes.
Where are people going to park?
I don't know, but why is there another need for a hotel? I mean, you have Hilton, you have the one right in St. Anne's there where Pelican was. Then you have all these abandoned houses, well not abandoned, they have all these houses for rent, 8,500 and over. Who could afford that?
And that is an issue that I have observed in Belmont as well. Very high rates of rent.
Yes.
And I don't know how people afford. I don't know how people afford these rates, because I see things upwards of $7,000-8,000 for a 3-bedroom.
Yeah.
And
I saw 8,500 in Sinclair for 1 bedroom.
Okay.
And I'm noticing that these places are getting heavily populated, and we have cars parking on the streets, and there's nowhere, again, for people to park. And I was thinking, I swear you have to, when you do get into power, like you need to have me on your team, because I was just when I was driving home and I saw again a lot of cars parked on the streets, and you have to, and you know the roads in Belmont are smaller, very narrow. And I was thinking, what if we had like on each or every couple of blocks there was an actual like parking. What do you call those?
Car parks?
Yeah, like, but not just those car parks, like the multi-story ones, so that people don't have to park on the road and the cars can feel a little safer. Imagine if we actually build a community near Belmont a little, because I see the areas that can be developed, and I see where we can improve and certain things. There are a lot, like Lima said, there are lots of empty lots. Why are these being sold? People who want houses, why they want land, why aren't we
Well,
building
actually, the property we had on Norfolk Street, that was purchased by a guy, a Trinidadian guy, who was living in New York. And I don't think he's returned home as yet.
Yeah, a lot of the places
So
in Lower
he had to come back to break down the house because he had squatters living in the house. And the stench that used to come out onto the road from the house. He said, look, you know, he just came home one day and he organized and the house was totally broken down. So it's just a lot of bush now, and there's nobody looking after the property. Now, I think there was some talk about where they were looking to confiscate property if it was not being kept or maintained. And I know it's a bit harsh, but if it is that people do not want to take care of their properties, then there has to be a penalty. Now, it could be that the person who owns it died and probably has no relatives. You know, so you have that issue as well.
And you also have the issue of information, because there are a lot of lots like that where the people have passed on, but to get the information, you're having a problem with that. Because I tried looking at some places just for information, and I was like, you can't get the correct information. You don't know where to go. Do I go to the corporation? Do I go to the registrar to find out if the person is dead or alive? So you're not getting actual correct information to be able to make a decision on what to do, because you hear a lot about people being able to acquire land. But obviously you want to do it the legal way. If you can't get information, how are you going to do it? So you're driving through an area and you see an overgrown lot. The first thing you have to do is come out and talk to people. A lot of the people now move in the area. I don't know, I hear so much years and I see that lot, so I don't know what to tell you. How you go about finding out information about that lot? That's things that we don't.
Well, land surveys, I think, is supposed to be able to get that information, because I remember when we purchased our property in Diego Martin, I remember having to go in and with our documents, and there were huge books. I hope at some point they get computerized. And they actually enter the information in the book, and then they indicated that, okay, it's 3 different leases, so each lease has to have a WASA number, right? And then, well, we had one TNTech meter, so that was fine. But, you know, you're supposed to be able to go into them and find out, well, what's going on with these plots of land. And I think that is a project in itself.
Yes, it is.
So that you could send out letters to people and say, look, if you don't come in and out then again, if the lot is empty and there's no forwarding address, how you will just have a name, and then of course you could take that name down to, you know, the Registrar General's office with births and deaths to see if that person has died, and then notices in the papers. You see, like how when they want to find you, they put a notice in the paper, right? So that people will see it. There needs to be some other method as well that you can post this information out there so that people can see it, and they might know, oh, well, that's Auntie so-and-so property. Look, let me call uncle or whoever and let them know that, you know, the property is being looked at and they need to do something about it. But there doesn't seem to be any forward thinking in terms of getting these things done.
No, there are lots, a good bit of houses where that's involved. Overgrown, abandoned, dilapidated, you're not sure if people are living
there. Then a case like that, then the state needs to move in and take the house, take the property.
But then the problem with that now is they'll take it, but they'll give it to their friends. They wouldn't be like a fair market.
I understand that. And this is where again the Progressive Empowerment Party comes in. Because, you know, it is about being just and having transparency and accountability.
Yeah.
And if a property is confiscated by the state and there's a sale or it's being sold to somebody, then that a notice has to go into the paper.
Right.
You see? So it's about that in itself is a project, and we, the Progressive Empowerment Party, I can see us making it work. Getting the forces, and you have people who need jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can employ people to do the work.
Yes, and that's
And it
another
has to
thing
be properly managed.
with what is because a lot of the younger guys are unemployed or between jobs, or the job itself is not paying, because a lot of them complain, well, their fortnight salary is not enough to pay the current bills.
Right.
Especially if you have school fees to pay. And school fees don't mean your child going private primary school, just a preschool. Right? Preschool fees are now like $1,200 a month in some places. That's half of somebody's fortnight. That's more than half of somebody's fortnight pay.
So with that, can I ask how is crime in your area? Because I know I realize that Belmont goes through like
Phases.
A couple months it will be hot, like they call it, and
Yeah.
you're hearing about murders and shooting, and then it will quiet down for a little bit.
But Belmont was a hotspot a while ago, but now it's not. And you would hear people say, "Oh, Belmont? You from Belmont?
Yeah.
Oh my
I get
God!
that reaction.
It's safe to drive in there."
Do you get this? The good part or the bad
Yeah.
part? I get that all the time.
Yeah,
What
like,
is the
where
good
is
business?
where is the bad part of Belmont? But funny enough though, when the Lady Young has any landslide, everybody know Belmont.
Yeah.
Everybody, and it's like possible, like I don't remember, I don't know this guy, I see Range Rover passing through, and I said, but wait, I thought Belmont was a hot spot. And I listen to me people, if you don't know the area, why is they passing through? I want to be bad talking my area, and all they passing through here when the Lady Young have landslide, or when town have traffic and flood out.
Shortcut.
No man, don't be like that. But then here ain't no hot spot. You might have little discrepancies and little issues. Those kind of tend to work themselves out. Those, like there was a murder a couple years ago, but that was between two rival gangs, right? So that kind of like cancelled itself out.
Yeah. I guess.
But
it's not that bad.
it's not that bad. You don't really hear about much on Belmont side. Gonzales, I've heard a couple things where the Warren factions having their little issues. So taxi drivers have to be careful, because if you pick up somebody from the gang in the higher hill and he passes through the gang with the lower hill that he have to beef with, they could shoot up your car. Which I find is kind of stupid, but hey, I don't understand their logic.
I would say that Belmont has opportunistic criminals.
Yes.
And I say that because a couple of years ago, when it was hot, my mom, she had stopped working, and she started to, she picked up this hobby. I call it a hobby at the time, because she had to be crazy to be doing it. The hours of the night she used to be doing it, working taxi. And I remember when she was telling me she went into somewhere up in Belmont, one of those meandering roads up on a hill, late in the night, probably after 11. And she went to turn, and when she was coming back, there was a barrel in the middle of the road. Somebody put a barrel there so that she can stop
That's probably
and come out. And you know what happens then. Being a crazy woman, I don't know how she managed to drive around it. But it's not the first time that I've heard of, criminals seeing you.
I've heard of that too in a particular
you,
area. And I heard that they rob you when you come out to move the barrel.
Right.
So I think police had said, you don't come out in anything. But I know
But
in
what about police
St. Anne's-
patrols? Why aren't they patrolling the area?
I know, but St. Anne's and Cascade, they having a lot of robberies. So like during the day, because those areas are where everybody works during the day, so the area is quiet. I think they're having a lot of robberies now. I know in the same group they were posting, they went to the Belmont police and they couldn't respond because there were 2 officers at the time in the station. Which I don't understand how, because Belmont is a big police station and they should have a full quota of police. So that is something, I don't know if it's that poor management on the senior officer
in
terms of scheduling, or if a lot of people took sick leave, and I don't know what, but I know a lot of them are demotivated with the service, and they are being, I would say, being rebellious by taking sick leave and just refraining from doing the work. Because as I said, when I went in and I spoke to some of the officers, it's sort of like,
I hope she's not giving me work.
yeah, you know, that kind of way. I'm just like, officer, I can see you looking a little bit on the demotivated side. What's happening there? Come on. And when I spoke to him about it, he's asking me if I'm going up. I said, I would like to. He said, well, it's good that I'm somebody young. And this is the same thing everybody keeps repeating, somebody young. Somebody from the area.
They see hope and they see fresh faces, because the same old. As I saw Coleman Booth back in when he was elected, well, when he was appointed finance minister. I said, this man who I know from since I'm a child, who I keep hearing about doing all of this madness, and you bring him back again. Like you know when you see the old faces that you're just going to get these things. And I guess a fresh young face like yours.
To some people, because some people recognize that, okay, she's young, she's beyond the street, she's walked, she's traveled. So some people might think that that's good, but then some people will be like, okay, when she reach MP, she'll buy a fancy car, she'll be able to see her, she will move out to the area, and she wouldn't have time for her, she wouldn't even be in the office or what. But my personality itself is that I don't like being in the office. So I would not be in the office. You would probably catch me on the street walking about. You know, if Wassa fixing, I'd stop and be like, all right, I'll play foreman for you. Come, let's do this. You casually go up in an area to see, and then the way PEP wants to do it, where the MP is separate from parliamentarian, which is actually the better thing. You need somebody 24 hours in your constituency. Because when the lady had a landslide, nobody knew, and you heard people, it's only people passing, and it's like, oh wait, have a landslide, we can't pass, so they turn around, and then it caused a panic. Well, I'm sure the police wasn't the first on the scene. And then I heard there was a drama between which corporation to call. Should we call Sam or should we call Port of Spain? Whose district is it? Whose area? It doesn't matter, respond. But then you have people who are calling ODPM to tell them, listen, there are certain things you're seeing along the lady young that could be a potential hazard, common thing. And they never responded. I called twice and they never responded. So, I don't know.
Tell me a little bit about St. Anne's and Cascade.
St. Anne's and Cascade. I'm not really familiar with Cascade. I'm more about St. Anne's. But from reading the post on the thread, Cascade has been having a lot of robberies. They also have, and with every area there's the good and the supposed bad. Cascade has an area where the forefront is what people like to call the posh area. But further to the end of Cascade, you have the lower income people, residents. So I guess with lower income, you have the issues that like Belmont would have, poor garbage, poor roads. I have to actually drive up to see, because I never drove to the end of Cascade. I drove to the end of St. Anne's once, and that was just fastness. I just wanted to know what was the end of St. Anne's. Because, you know, I always go to Cascade. There's a preschool there, so I go there. Oh, I went Cascade already. And then I was like, but this road leads to somewhere, let's go. So I drove and I just went driving. I was like, wow, okay, up here is really nice, breezy thing. So one of these days I'm going to do that with Cascade. But as a female by yourself, you have to be careful.
Correct.
So I would wait. I would wait to go with somebody and drive and make sure I'm like, all right, is your gas full? Nothing wrong with the vehicle? Your brakes good. Right. So if there's anything, throw in a reverse and you get out of there. But it shouldn't be that bad, man, because I realize people are welcoming for change. And I don't know, something about when you have curly hair and you're short and you're alright looking, they tend to be like, hi, can I help you? You're looking for somewhere? You're looking for somebody?
Alright looking.
So, yeah, because sometimes I go handing out flyers. You'll see, that's how I get to hand out flyers, and then you'll see all the guys slowing down and they're like, alright, look, here, check this now. check out this
Lama's
speedy
husband,
flyers.
I hope you're hearing this.
Yeah, because I gave him time. We went by some bar driving through Tabakita, and I was like, here, give them flyers, give them. He's like, you know, I had that. How odd is it going to be a man walking up to give men flyers? I was like, you go do it.
And I think it would be a perfect
Candidate,
for
yes, I think so.
For the
Yes,
St.
you're very
Anne's
passionate about what you realize are the needs of the people in the area.
I hope they could see that.
and who will know better than
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
people who are from the
Living
constituency.
in the
I saw Stuart Young once in my constituency, and that was when he was upgrading the local bar. And I remember shaking my head thinking, is this all you can do for my area?
Yeah.
Refurbish a bar?
Yeah.
And I got the impression that it's, kind of keep them drinking, keep them intoxicated.
Rum and roti
Yeah,
mentality.
keep the line going and
Oh,
not
wow.
focus on the fact that we don't have jobs and proper roads and we can't get water. And
Yeah, and I noticed that's like an old school political scheme where you have the meeting at 8, but you open gates at 6. So from 6 to 8, you serve all the cheap alcohol, get them drunk, get them high. So when I say all my rubbish and geometry up there, they, yeah, great to see them. And like, they just envision Eric Williams still up there.
and they had the girls be walking around in my constituency.
But I heard he did he organized some painting for Belmont Girls RC, because I saw people asking for volunteers, right? But when you look at Belmont Girls, the first thing I would be like, why wasn't the school built over? That school is part wood,
I
part
actually
concrete.
went to Belmont Girls RC.
Yeah?
That was my
Yeah,
primary
and
school.
my daughter is going there now, but that school
Is it now
almost-
St. Francis Girls RC?
Yeah. But they have, because it's Belmont and they take primarily children from Belmont, they had an issue some years ago, or maybe, about 2 years ago, when the school was almost burned down from some students who were just being naughty,
Yeah.
right? So the school is still partly wood, it's still, why wasn't it ever rebuilt and better? You don't have AC in the school, children still using fans and these old time aluminum windows. How do you expect children to function in that?
Well, the thing about it is, if it is that he's helping to paint the school, it might be better if he organized to get the school properly
Yes.
fixed.
Yes.
Because putting paint on an old building,
That's like putting
you
a
know,
plaster on
a sore.
Yeah.
Correct.
Definitely when Lima is the rep for her area.
Oh, definitely.
That is one of the
things
first
we have
things
to
that
look
I
at.
said I
Like,
wanted to
the
do.
schools,
The schools.
for example, definitely can benefit from
Yeah.
the whole zoning of schools and the GPA, because then you can actually put the attention into building schools that can actually facilitate these students and not just have a school there for having a school there sake.
And I think the whole idea of also making all schools prestige
Yes.
Yeah.
schools.
So the Belmont boys had an issue and they relocated the school. I've been told they were relocated quite a few times. Now I saw they built a new school for them in Bella Road, but they're still using the orphanage. Why haven't they moved in yet?
Probably building planning approvals. As we close our segment, I would like to invite members to tell their friends and family about our regular meetings, employee screening for the job seekers and housing initiatives, every Saturday from 12 noon at 19 Stanmore Avenue, Port of Spain. Come and add your voice to the frank and open discussion and express your opinions. Executives of the party will be there to answer any question that you may have. Don't forget that you can become a volunteer and can serve on any of our committees or teams that include National Executive, Constituency Executive, Constituency Representative, Youth Arm, Gender Arm, which is inclusive of the women and the men arm, Security Team Events Committee. Why volunteer? We believe that citizens should have a say in how they are governed, so we invite persons to volunteer to serve within our organization and help advance the vision and mission of the Progressive Empowerment Party. One people under one flag. The Progressive Empowerment Party is a volunteer organization that depends solely on the contributions from our members to keep us funded. Our goal is to contest the next general elections and will require significant funding. The PEP is guided by principles of transparency and accountability, and we assure you that your generosity will be used solely for the advancement of the organization as we work our way towards a better Trinidad and Tobago. The party is going to be working for you and to ensure that no citizen is left behind, so therefore become a financial member. This Saturday, 14th of April, we will be having a cottage meeting, yes, correct? Which is going to be held at 19 Stanmore Avenue from 6 p.m. Bring your family and friends to add their voice to the conversation. We will be talking about our policies and solutions to issues plaguing Trinidad and Tobago, also providing you, the public, with information, because our role as well is to empower, inform, and to inspire and educate. Thank you, Linda, for coming to our show tonight. We really do appreciate your presence here. Do you have any closing words for our viewers?
Remember to vote for PEP, and you can message me to find out any more information or how you can help.
Yes.
For me, it's just, Lima, I mean, I think you, like I was saying earlier, you have a real, passion for your community. You remind me of myself a little bit in that regard. And anybody, like she said, anybody willing in the Port of Spain North and St. Anne's West area to come on board and assist Lima, because we need to get our feet planted in all 41 constituencies.
Correct.
But if you have a passion for this one, you reside in this one, and you would like to help, please lend your support, because we need to get Lima a nice strong team to go up against the Mr. Young, who is currently sitting on the throne of Port of Spain, North, St. Anne's West.
I think too, people have to start understanding that their constituency is their home.
It is.
And they need to come forward to say, listen, we have to create a team that is going to look after the constituency and to work together to make sure that their roads are kept clean, that they can get pipeline water, electricity as well. So we need you to come on board and be part of Lima's team. We want to acknowledge all our members and thank all of our viewers. To those of you who are on the roads, please be safe. I would like to make another appeal. Last night, yesterday at 8 p.m., I saw two women running in the side streets south of the Savannah. These streets are lonely and mostly made up of businesses. Some don't have security guards. Please try to run where there are a lot of people, if only for your safety. So, good night.